guys doing? It's Seb here. This is our first tutorial for PES 2016. Basically, this one is based on the demo. I'm sure I will have a more in-depth tutorial regarding formation and tactics and player rules, just as I did for PES 2015. Um, this is basically about the defense tutorial. Now, there's a lot of factors. You know, it's the formation you use, it's the team you use, it's how good are you in the game, how good is your vision, how good are you to read an opponent's style. So we're gonna put all these aside. I'm just gonna walk you through a simple tutorial for you to know every tactical link, what they stand for, how to fix them. Basically, I am giving you a tutorial regarding the tactics in general in PES, so you can come up with your own tactic information based on your style and based on the team that you use. First thing first, we're gonna start. I'm gonna cover only the bit when your team is out of position, and that's basically your defensive sliders. First of all, we have defensive style, all-out defense. What does all-out defense mean? As you can see in the photo, basically every time your opponent loses the ball, your team will just drop down. They're all kind of come back. Now, this is good against long ball spammers, but if you're playing against someone who like to position, who like to pressure you deep in your own half, who's a good dribbler, you will struggle against that. When it comes to the other one, we can here, let me just switch to it. The other one is frontline pressure. This is something that we all used on PES 2015. You want to pressure the opponent up front rather than going deep and defend. What this does the difference with the frontline pressure, as soon as you lose the ball, your teammate who are not under your control, they will press up. You know, your center midfielder, sometimes even your fullbacks. So that's what frontline pressure stands for. I'm trying to make it short and punchy and quick without any fancy word, the way that guides you on the game. Now, the containment area, we have wide and we have center. The wide one is basically, well, in the game it says if you choose wide, you will basically push your opponent to go down the middle, which I'm still confused with the wide and narrow. But last year, based on PES 2015, we've all used containment area center. So in general, I would suggest using center unless you are playing against someone who plays on the flank. However, as I said, the wide one says it will push your opponent to go down the center. So that means if I'm playing against someone who constantly goes down the middle, I should be choosing wide. But at the same time, when I choose wide, or even tried managers who has the wide containment area, I was getting rigged with through balls down the middle. So basically, the containment area, in my opinion, is a little bit dodgy. So don't count me on that. But if you read it, if you press the help button when you're viewing your formation, it tells you everything about these sliders. I'm just making it short and punchy for you to understand. And by the end of this video, you will have a good knowledge about each of these tactical sliders to give you a backup. And then you will go into which player to choose, the player rules and your formation and the team that you choose. But this is basically, I'm covering up every single tactical sliders based on defense. The offense ones is different. I'm just covering the defense one for this episode. So the second one is basically containment area middle, as you can see in the photo. Apparently, if you choose containment area middle, your team will try to drag the opponent to the flank. The containment area middle, this is something that we all used in PES 2015. I think in PES 16, containment area wide will be better. Next one is pressuring. Now we have aggressive and conservative. The aggressive one, as soon as you lose the ball, your team basically will just pressure like crazy. Doesn't matter how deep you put your defensive line. When you use pressure and aggressive, your team will still barge forward. I don't really like that. I prefer conservative because with conservative, you can actually pressure manually if you want to by holding square. But when it comes to aggressive, this is not something I would suggest you do if you're not good at defending. But some people that I know, they prefer aggressive, especially if someone is a good dribbler or passes a lot or time waste. So that's what aggressive do. Your team will just barge forward. Doesn't matter how deep you play or how defensive you're trying to be. The conservative one is the one I choose. Basically, when you lose the ball, the players will just kind of jockey around the opponent with the ball rather than barging forward. That's the difference between aggressive and conservative. Now we come to the defensive line. Now, as you can see, these slider bars, we have from 1 to 10. From 1 to 3 is low. From 4 to 7 is medium. From 8 to 10 is high. Keep that in mind. Defensive line in general, I and many people that I know uses 4 to 5. That's always has been, whether you want to be offensive or defensive. This is like a medium one. So I would suggest you try between 4 to 6, those two. Lily, stop fucking texting me. Well, he's no Lily actually. Let me see what that is. Oh, it's the guys. Okay. So yeah, the defensive line basically that's what covers up. You have a slider from 1 to 10, and we're gonna go to the next part, which is compactness. Now this is a very important one because as I said, from the sliders from 1 to 10, 1 to 3 is low, 4 to 6, 4 to 7 is basically medium, and 8 to 10 is the highest one. Now this is very simple, guys. You know, the higher the sliders, the more compact you are. If I'm playing against someone who constantly attacks down the middle, it's very simple. I simply choose compactness 8. That will make my team very compact. As you can see in the second photo, this is compactness 10. You can see how narrow it goes compared to the lowest one. So this is how you set up your compactness. If somebody attacking down a flank, go for low compactness like 3 or 4, or leave it to medium. 4 is fine, you know. But if you're playing against someone who constantly attacks down the middle and does those ping pong quick passing move, you want to be compact to intercept and absorb pressure and then counter. The next part is basically the last one, numbers in defense. Now, as you can see, when it sets to few, I only have 3 defenders to defend. I normally use numbers in defense few. If I'm a goal behind, or it's like minute 80, or the opponent time wasting, I just switch number to defense to few. So I will have about 7 players up front to basically attack and pressure the opponent. Now we get into these combination, you know, how to set up your tactic for counter, how to set up your tactic for long ball. We will get into that in the future videos. This is what I upload on my channel. You know, it's all about tutorials, gameplay, myClub, a variety of things. If you check my previous videos for this 2015, you will know what kind of content I upload. Now, if you choose medium, this is basically the one that I use normally when I start with it. If I'm losing or opponent time wasting, I'll go to few. But number of defense, nobody will leave it to medium. You will have 2 of your center back and a midfielder, and probably a fullback. One fullback always attacks and will be aggressive. If you set it to many, as you can see, this is obviously a lockdown. This is parking the bus. You will have about 7 players defending, and you can even drag your other players to come back manually when you want to defend. So that's what covers up, guys. Now remember, this was defense tutorial part 1 covering the tactics. Now part 2 is going to cover the gameplay. This was the tactics. The part 2 is going to be gameplay, how to defend during the game. And I'm talking about, you know, selecting your player manually, pressuring, you know, a variety of. I don't want to go into that because I want to leave this part for my fellow YouTuber Midnight Kid. So make sure to hit this annotation button right there and watch part 2 on Midnight Kid's channel. We're trying to collaborate here. You know, we upload in different things. So the part 2 is going to be on Midnight Kid's channel. Make sure to subscribe to him as well. Hope you guys find the video useful. If you have any question, just comment down below. You can also join my live stream on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll stream normally from 10 to 11 at night till basically early morning. And I will have like random hours during the day. So yeah, guys, hope you guys find the video useful. As I said, I will have more in-depth tutorials in the future. I am just covering the defensive side. Obviously, you will have other tactical sliders when you are on the ball, and this is the offensive one. Hopefully, I'll do that in the next couple of episodes. Until next time, ciao for now. I'm still on. Barney!